What's up, everyone? I am Wink.
And I am Skillz.
And it's been a long freaking time, but this is Scream Cheese. Today, we are going to talk about Late Night with the Devil, directed by Cameron and Colin Cairns. I probably got that wrong, Skillz. And it's not going to get any better because it's also starring David Dastmalchian, Laura Gordon, and Ian Bliss. A live television broadcast in 1977 goes horribly wrong, unleashing evil into the nation's living rooms. Dude, first of all, welcome back, man. I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever.
I know, man. It's great to be back. I missed everybody.
First off, I just want to point out that I think I can speak on your behalf. I know one thing about you. You and I are both from a particular time where late night television was a staple of society and like how you kept up with the world. And I think we can both appreciate that as the setting for this movie.
Absolutely.
But Skillz, what did you think otherwise? How'd you feel about this one?
So again, welcome back, everybody. So this movie had all the ingredients of what I would want in a film. Just like every aspect. If you wrote down all these ideas on a piece of paper and said, we have this concept for a movie, I'd be like, dude, I would love to see that film. And the film was a good film. But despite all the, hype and how much everybody seemed to love this film, it just didn't land with me. It wasn't bad, but it didn't strike any chords. I didn't feel anything emotionally. I didn't feel connected to any of the characters. I felt the buildup was just too long. And I actually enjoy late night talk shows, especially the ones from the 70s and Johnny Carson. And it's really easy to put on even one of those old episodes and get sucked in for an hour and the time flies by. That's why I don't put them on, because I'll wind up watching.
Sure.
I didn't even feel like this did that good of a job with that. It captured the aesthetic for sure. I mean, there was a lot of good stuff with that. But as far as like the entertainment value of a late night show, and I know they were building a story, but it wasn't entertaining enough for me. It felt very predictable, like all the beats. And I get it. It's like a possession story or a devil story, and you're gonna have those certain beats. It just went on, and then it got to the ending, and some of that stuff was cool. But when it was all said and done, I was just like, this didn't do anything for me. And I wish I could have had the experience that other people had, but it didn't land for me. I wasn't crazy about it.
That's fair. I would say for me, the movie was fine. I really liked it, but I wasn't like blown away in any crazy way. I feel like I'm kind of the perfect audience for this because I watch a lot of these types of movies that Shudder seems to be picking up. And I went and saw it with a couple of friends, and I could tell that they had kind of the same experience you did, where it wasn't like hugely satisfying. I think for what it was, it did all the things that it set out to do pretty well. All the novelty of kind of the found footage, the novelty of the late night in the 70s, the possession stuff, the little gimmicks throughout. I thought all of them were done really well, and I can totally understand, like, in the end, having all these elements but it not coming together in a way that would really blow a lot of people away. But I did really, really like it. But yeah, similarly, I wouldn't go like shouting to everybody that they need to run and see this movie, but I think there's definitely a particular audience for it. I'm actually glad I saw it in the theater even. Like, I feel like this was kind of a movie for me, even though I wasn't like crazy blown away. I definitely enjoyed it quite a bit. One other thing that struck me is just that I know you and I have watched a few of the last VHS movies, and those are always like, an anthology, and they're all kind of found footage-y. Usually there's a couple stinkers, there's a couple good ones, and usually there's one where you're like, oh, that's really good. I would have liked to have seen a feature version of that. And that almost feels like what Late Night with the Devil was. It almost feels like it could have been like one of those shorts in a VHS compilation or anthology that we would have been like, ooh, I'd like to see like the feature version of it. And they went with it. That's kind of what it felt like to me.
Yeah, dude. The one thing I took away from it was, I'm like, this could easily be a stage play.
Dude, I thought the same thing.
And also to point out like a positive, like a really strong positive, because again, I didn't dislike the film, but David Dastmalchian, that guy was great. Like, I really like him.
He was fantastic. I felt like he was charismatic. He easily carried the film.
He felt like a talk show host from the 70s,
Yeah, he absolutely did. One kind of hole I wanted to poke in it. It kind of sucks because it's but it's fine, is, you know, they did have like the found footage gimmick where we're watching like the footage and then we're seeing behind the scenes when they break for a commercial. For the final act, they had to completely abandon it to kind of be able to even tell the story. It turned into, the last act is like you're watching a movie. That I don't think in any world would that have been the behind the scenes footage or anything. And then we come back into it at the end. So in any case, I feel like at that point, we're the most engaged at that point that we're probably in the entire movie. So it's easy to kind of forgive that in the final act.
I didn't like the use of CGI. It's fine if they use it. I'm not opposed to that. But you're trying to create this aesthetic from the 70s and they did it so well. And then when you put in these kind of bad CGI effects, it kind of takes you out. Of course, I would have loved practical. And if they had the budget, I'm sure they would have done that because that would have been perfect. But it just didn't look good. You know, so it didn't blend in well with like the other footage to me.
For instance, what effect do you think didn't sell?
Oh, there was a bunch of them, but just like off the top of my head, when he vomited, it looks so CGI. The way this is being shot isn't like some modern day movie without this incredible like lighting and camera movement. All we need to do is see vomit come out of his mouth, you know, for the story. The point is like they use CGI in a number of places and it kind of takes you out of it. It's like when I saw the first Paranormal Activity, I love that film. And if they would have put a bunch of CGI in it, and I'm sure they used some in it somewhere, but I mean, if they would have put like all that stuff in Paranormal Activity, that would have kind of ruined it for me because I like that found footage feel. And with this, it was like the 70s feel. So I wish they wouldn't have done that, but that has nothing to do with like how I feel about the film. I liked it, but I was very disappointed. But here's the thing. There's enough there that I like that I'm absolutely going to watch this again when it's available to stream. So there's something about it that I'm drawn to that I want to give it another chance. I want to have the experience other people are having. And sometimes in my life, not often, but sometimes I'll watch a film, it doesn't resonate with me, and I see it a second time and I love it. And it was just a bad time or bad moment that I saw that film the first time. But I can tell that you got a bit more of that experience that I'm looking for that I didn't get.
I feel like the container and all the elements were there. They just like only filled it up like 75%. I feel like they could have pushed 25% more scares, care, and story, and I think more people would have had better experiences with it.
Like on an emotional level, we've all seen films that we really like, and even though we can say it's not perfect, it has flaws, but emotionally it resonated with me. And then some films, even if you say they're really good, there was no connection. You know, it just didn't work for you. So is this film in the former? Is it in like you did have a positive, good emotional experience watching this film?
Yeah, no, I think I had a good experience watching the film. I would say that there was not a lot to attach to emotionally in it. It felt like it was a pretty superficial exploration of this particular novelty of a possession story.
I might not have explained it clearly, but it's like I've watched movies where it's not designed for you to form a strong emotional connection with a character. But I guess when I say emotion, I just mean a feeling. Like you connect certain feelings to that movie and you just like it. And that's what I was missing with this. It's like all the pieces were there, but I didn't have that feeling, or that it wasn't a matter of like, yeah, it wasn't perfect, but I liked the feeling it gave me. And I liked that film.
I would say I maybe didn't get that as strong as I do with other movies, but I think I did get a little bit. And also, the more I think about this film, like I feel like this movie has the potential to grow on me. But yeah, I don't think it evoked a really huge, strong emotional or qualia or any feeling, you know. I just was like, oh, okay, yeah, that was the thing, and I like the thing. What do you give it out of 10, dude?
I give it a 6.5, and that's a higher score than I feel that I want to give it. But I like everything about it, and I want to watch it again. And I just believe in my heart of hearts that next time I see it, I'm going to be a happy little boy. So I give it a 6.5.
Yesterday, I gave it a 7, and looking back at it more fondly, I'm going to bump it up to a 7.5.
Yes.
Well, folks, let us know what you thought about the movie in the comments section below. Also, let us know of any other scary movies that you think that we should check out, and we will see you next time. Peace out, cheesers.
Peace.